Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome to our second session in the Power Up with .NET series. Today, we are going to talk about .NET and AI, your path to seamless AI integrations. My name is Moria, and I'm part of the Reactor team. I will be moderating today's session. For those of you who are new to the reactors are community spaces where startup and developers and students meet and learn through both in-person and virtual events. We offer events around different technical topics. You can check out our website and find out more information about the upcoming events, depending on the region you are joining from and the time zone that best works with your schedule. You have, as I mentioned, we have in-person and online. So the in-person events take place in 10 different locations worldwide. If you scan the QR code now, you will reach our website and you can see the list of both events. If you scan the QR code on the screen now, you will be able to register for our newsletter and receive a monthly update with all the upcoming events, depending on the region you're registered from. And thanks everyone for in the chat letting us know where you are joining from. That's really helpful to know where is our audience are from around the world. So today's session, and actually a lot of the sessions at the Reactor are empowered by the Microsoft Learn program. For those of you who are new to the program, I highly recommend you to check it out. The website offers really thousands of learning resources for you, from learning path, modules, blogs, on-demand certifications, on-demand content, a lot of resources that you can study for free, of course, from anywhere, anytime, actually. So you can just join. If you register for the Microsoft Learn platform, you can access all these great resources and choose the best one that fits you. This is the link, this QR code on the screen now will lead you to the AI Learning Hub, where you will get all the resources that are relevant for learning around AI. And don't worry if you missed any of the QR codes. I will share all the links in the chat soon. So without we start today's session, I want you to please take a minute to read the code of conduct of our events. We encourage everyone to assist here in creating a welcoming and safe environment. Please be respectful and kind in the chat. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to today's speakers. So today's speakers are Jaflet Nuamu and Samuel Adrani. I hope I pronounced both correct, and I'll pass it over to them now to introduce themselves and further talk about their profile and what they're going to talk about today. So Samuel and Jaflet, over to you.
Hey Maria, how you doing? And yes,
thank you very much, Maria.
you pronounce at least my name. You pronounce
Okay.
it well. I don't know Chaplet's name, but yeah,
Oh
you
no,
did pronounce my
you
name
did a
well.
great job. You did a great job, Maria.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
Thank
trying.
you.
Hi,
Awesome.
Samuel. Good
Hey,
evening.
Jaflet. Doing great, doing great. It's an exciting time to be talking about two of my favorite technology stacks, or two of my favorite tech ecosystem, which is .NET and AI. A lot of people will know that now AI and co-pilots are driving the world. Whether you are a farmer, whether you are a baker, whether you are just someone even just interested in technology. I mean, you and I could agree that AI is now the future. And what best technology to use it with than .NET? I have been with .NET probably since the very first inceptions of it. So I'm excited for today. We get to show people how to use it. I don't know about you, but what's your take?
Yeah, it's really exciting talking about .NET and AI. And even though I might not have been a .NET developer for a very long time as you are, it's always exciting to see some of the great stuff that .NET helps us to accomplish. Plus, there's the spice of AI, which has been blowing up the entire space recently. I mean, for example, at Microsoft Ignite, the Azure AI Foundry was one of the biggest things, having
Yeah.
together all of the AI um, facilities, everything that can help you build amazing AI solutions or models, just having them together in a single place was something that was really, really cool. And I mean, there are other AI technologies that Microsoft has for us that we can impute into .NET. We're not here to talk about all of them, but
Yeah.
just wanted to say it's really mind blowing to see all of the amazing stuff that we can
Yeah.
accomplish with
Yeah.
.NET and AI.
Yeah. And before we get started, there's something that
So diving
I want
straight, yeah.
everybody
Oh, okay,
to
yeah, sure.
to take away from this, and which is, if you look back at how AI has evolved, right? Gone were the days. In those days, we're just talking about machine learning before artificial intelligence came and all that. It was quite difficult, as a developer or as someone just wanting to leverage AI into your applications. You either had to understand data science, you need to understand all the mathematics and all the modules, you needed to build your own modules and stuff like that. But what I'm excited about is the fact that now, thanks to Azure, OpenAI, and all these large language models that are coming, and the way AI and technology is evolving, you don't necessarily need to be a champion in data science, a champion in models, a champion in the mathematics to understand it. As we'll be showing them in today's session, you realize that it is very easy. And if you're a .NET developer already, I mean, you are in luck. We're going to show you how to do that, and then you can pick on that and learn and do big things. So, I'll leave it up for you, Jaffa, for us to get started.
Yeah, sure, great. It actually brings to mind, Microsoft's motto, which is empowering everyone, so giving everyone access to the right tools, access to the right opportunities that they need to build solutions. And I love the point you highlighted about people being able to build AI solutions, even though they don't have so much experience into programming.
Yeah.
But let's dive straight in. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to AI and .NET. I'm Jaflet Wamo, and I am a cloud advocate at Microsoft with the .NET team based off Nigeria, and it's always exciting. I think this is probably the first time we're having an engagement like this. So, Samuel, please, would you like to do your intro?
Yes. So my name is Samuel Adjani. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and also an MCT, and a recent Microsoft MCT community lead. Interesting times. I also am involved a lot in community activities, not just here in Ghana, but also in Nigeria. And currently a senior software engineer at Mecoma. So this is me helping here, making, just trying to bring out the excitement that I am also enjoying. So stick with us, for the next couple of minutes, and you're going to have some fun.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, Samuel. And diving straight in, we all have to get started with AI. Everybody's talking about AI. In fact, with everything going on in the AI space, the way we do things, our applications, our solutions, the way we work on projects now is on a whole different level. In fact, artificial intelligence is reinventing the way we do things in the tech space, the way we build applications. But something worth noting is it gives us the opportunity to focus on things that really matter. Now, in this session, for the first part, we're going to be talking about how this comes to life using .NET, and we'll be showing you an example using an e-commerce application. So this e-commerce application is called eShop Lite, and basically what's happening here is people need to get products, which we're going to show you later. This is just a random application where they go over to the site, they need to get an item, they search for the item, and they are able to see more details about it. But AI is going to help us change how that is done. We'll try as much as possible to fit all of these amazing things into 45 minutes. Now, this is what the eShop architecture looks like with artificial intelligence coming into it. So at this time, we have our user interface, which is more like the place your users get to see, that page that attracts people where they can interact with, they can communicate with, they can do things. That is done with Blazor. The backend is done with Minimal API, where we have to connect to our database and connect to every other thing that's going to make this work. And then for all of the things that are going to be on the website, we are using SQLite, which is going to act as our database. And this, by the right, is what it actually looks like. But like I mentioned earlier, we can do more. We can make this better. So what if, for example, I need to search for a specific product, but I don't know the name of that specific product? How about I can just input a phrase or say probably I'm looking for a shoe that's black, or just input something, and then it takes me to that specific item I am looking for, or it gives me something very close to it. That is
So, Jefflet,
exciting.
sorry to interrupt,
I
but
will
I think our
see
slides are not
how, yeah.
advancing. We're still stuck on, I think, the title slide. I think we're still stuck on the title slide, which is just .NET and AI, your path to seamless AI integration.
Okay.
So I don't know
Currently
if we
from my
can check that.
oops. Okay, so from my end, I can see eShop architecture with AI. Moria, can you help confirm?
Perhaps you can. No, I see the first slide as well. Perhaps you can reshare your screen, and then maybe you will
Yeah.
be fixed.
Okay. So do you want me to go a little bit backwards? Let's try this again.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
you should try that again.
Okay, so let's share this again, and let's go over, and I'll just do share. So just 1 minute, and let me do this again. Moria, you can help bring this up. Okay, great. Can you see something different this time?
Yeah, at least now I can see the intro slides. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks for pointing that out. So let's go over again. We've done our intros, and then talking about how AI is reinventing the entire space and changing how things are done, changing the way applications are built. And now talking about our e-commerce application, how we are utilizing artificial intelligence to make it a lot smarter, to make it a lot more interesting, and actually more useful to the users. This is the architecture. I'm glad you pointed that out, because it would have been really sad everyone missing this. So this is the
Yeah.
UI interface built with Blazor, the backend built with minimal API. And then, like I mentioned earlier, our database is SQLite. And by the right-hand side, we have a more like a brief overview of what our site looks like. Great. We can do this as a .NET developer using semantic kernel. And thanks to artificial intelligence, this makes it really, really amazing to utilize AI within .NET. Someone, would you like to talk about semantic kernel? I know it's something you're really excited about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm extremely excited about semantic kernel, and just to put it in perspective, as a developer, one of the biggest or one of the difficult challenges is how to implement AI in your application. There is, like I mentioned earlier on, trying to understand, how the model works, or trying to build your custom modules, it's a whole lot of complexities just trying to get AI into your application. There is also the concern about how do I get my grounded data, like something that is just representative of my business, of my company, of my use case. How do I get that into my AI application? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you about semantic kernel. So the exciting thing is that semantic kernel is a lightweight open source SDK, right? So it's a development kit, and what it does is that it lets you easily and simply add AI agents and interactions into your applications. Now it's future proof or future ready. And let me explain what I say by it's future ready. What semantic kernel allows you to do is that it sits as a middleware. It's like an SDK sitting in the middle that allows you to develop your application and then connects to your AI model with the concept of plugins and connectors. So look at it this way. It's future ready because today there's GPT 4.0, there's GPT, there is Llama, Neutron from NVIDIA. There's all these LLMs, there's from Hugging Face, there's all that. How do you leverage these, modules and these platforms in your application? That is what semantic kernel does. So it's in the middle and it allows you to add any LLM, right? Add any LLM on the backside, and then interface it with your application with very beautiful abstracted, SDKs and APIs, right? Very simple. So if in the future it changes, you want to use a different LLM, you can easily do that. And the beautiful thing is that it also supports the Azure AI ecosystem. So you can add your grounded data and then have it, speak specifically to you. So if you're looking at what we have to share, right? So basically, this is how it works. You have your application, there is the semantic kernel in the middle interfacing with the models, and like I mentioned, you can use OpenAI, you can use Hugging Face, you can use any of it. Even if you have your own custom modules you've deployed, you can use that. So it helps you with invoking, right? And this is where the plugins come in. You can use your custom native plugins, or you can use the ones that the kernel provide. So from the model selection, from the responses, from the transpiling, all that is handled for you. And the good thing is that whether you're using C#, Python, or Java, you can actually, make use of semantic kernel. And today we are more focused on the .NET ecosystem. So that's one of the exciting things about semantic kernel.
Yeah, really excited. I think people should actually, check it out and try doing some stuffs with it.
Yeah.
Now, diving a little bit in, let's do an overview into our eShop solution. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So currently, like I mentioned earlier, we already have the architecture. And let me bring that back up. Let me know if you can see this, Samuel, just to confirm.
Yeah, I can see
You
it.
have the architecture screen. Okay, great. So just for those who currently are here, this is what the architecture looks like. You have your user interface, the front end, you have the back end, and then you have your database. So have this image in mind while we will be going through this entire overview. Great. So I have this opened up, and currently in my Visual Studio, as you can see, I have the products, which is more like where all the products that I have are stored. And then we have the store, which is more like the interface that the users would get to interact with. So let me run this and we'll show you how this works. So this is ready to go. And what I'm going to do is just grab these tabs once they come up and then show you what that's. Great. So I have my browser tabs and bring these over here. And this is for the product section. First thing you want to note from here is that, okay, so let's do the products first. Oops, let me make this. And if you notice, we have the different products listed as items. So first we have the solar powered flashlight, we have the hiking poles, more like in a JSON format. And it's, for those who are conversant or programming, it's easy for them to understand what this is about. But then we have the interface, which is more like the one that people would actually, communicate with. And let's bring that up here. So let me increase this. And you can see this is what our eShop Lite site looks like. Here you have all of the products connecting to the product section, and you can see all of them here. We have our outdoor backpack, camping cookware, and all of those items, right? We have the search section where people can basically come here and search for specific items. And like I mentioned earlier, when people come over here to search for items, it's easy when they probably want to do camping, right? Because we have some products that are related to camping, and they just go over and search, and you have 4 items that are listed here: a camping cookware, camping stove, camping lantern, and camping tent. Very easy, much more better interface. But let's say someone doesn't know what exactly to impute there. Maybe they need something different, and probably, let's say, they want to try out. Let's think of something. So let's say, for example, somebody is coming over to the website and they probably want to get, say, maybe items that would help them when they are going for their camping trip for rainy days. So let's impute, oops, bring this park here. And let's say somebody comes over and says, please get me something for rainy days. And what's going to happen is there are no products that are found because our application is not intelligent. More like that. It's not artificial intelligence. It can't understand. So what we're going to do for this first part is we're going to try to infuse AI search, lots of other functionalities that we can include to it, but we'll try as much as possible within the time we have to show you how to implement AI search and make this smarter. Okay, so let's go back to our slides, and just as a recap, first we've gotten an introduction to what the eShop Lite solution looks like. We've seen how the front end built in Blazor looks like, and then the back end, which integrates web APIs, also looks like. And we've also seen that you just have to use a keyword if you need to search for a specific product, but if you need to do more, it becomes a little difficult. So what we're going to do next is try to add a smart feature using artificial intelligence. Great. So let me go back to my Visual Studio, and I'm just going to cancel this. So first things we need to do is we need to carry out a lot of these activities in our product section, and we can do these utilizing AI models. Prior to now, I have already created my AI models, which Samuel is going to show you. If you're conversant with Azure and Azure AI Studio, now Azure AI Foundry, you can do all of these things here, create your resource group, create your open AI models. And if you notice here, we have 2 specific models that we're utilizing: GPT 4o and also utilizing ADA, right? So over to our product section, we can see all of the different items that make this application come to life. First, we have the dependencies, which has all our packages, has all the frameworks and analyzers. And we're going to come over here. There are some relevant packages that you would need to bring this to life after you have created your models. We're going to come over here and confirm that we'll have those NuGet packages installed. So looking from this, we're going to need the Microsoft semantic kernel. So just semantic kernel. Let's browse. and we should be able to see that has been installed. Let's confirm. For our entire solution, it has been installed. So let's package, you get manage, you get packages, and let's browse. Great. So have semantic kernel, and for this specific version, what we're going to do is going to quickly install that, and then for those who are doing this for the first time, the next we'll need is, so let's apply this, accept, and then we can go on from here. The next we're going to need, just to confirm, is our plugins, which we're going to talk a little bit about later. Great. And here for our plugins, we'll be utilizing memories. I think this will be installed. And just to confirm, okay, so let me make this border, bring this here. And we have this installed already. Great, makes a lot of sense. Cool. So next over here, and let's just hold on a minute. So this gets installed. And then the last package we need to install is our system links here. And great, this have it installed. Beautiful. So we'll have all of the NuGet packages that we need for this specific program. Now we're going to head over, and here we have a few things that have been commented just prior to now. So what we're going to do is uncomment this section, and from our code, it's the memory context. So remember, we're now utilizing artificial intelligence, and because we're utilizing artificial intelligence, what we want to try to happen is we want, from the AI models, want it to be able to get the prompts, and then with the aid of the AI models that we are going to be utilizing, which we have already created the resource groups earlier, it would then use them as more like a memory and impute them over here. So let me take this comment out. Oops. Great. And then something else I would love to highlight is that to have a few of these part of this solution, for example, the memory, which I just spoke about, memory getting details that has been imputed, the prompt, and then utilizing them with AI. Now, this is under the memory context. And over here, we have this one in disabled due to some experimental semantic kernel features. This is because by the time you want to have your solution probably out, then it's important to take this out. But currently at this time, they are disabled. Now also notice that we have over here utilizing our open AI resources. First, we have the Azure Open AI module, we have the endpoint, we have the Open AI key, and also because we're utilizing Ada O2, we have this here, which we are going to impute, and then it's going to use all of these details to create a kernel, which would use to run all of these details. Now, the next thing it's going to do, which we have here, is that we have the fill product asynchronously, and what it's going to do is creating a vector database in memory utilizing all of the products that we currently have. So when a specific item is imputed, it is going to run through, iterate through, as you see here, it's going to iterate through all the products and try to find the best product in that list. Notice we're returning a prompt that this specific product is a product that cost, product price, and then the description of that specific product. Something else I would love to highlight is the relevance. And one thing that artificial intelligence solutions usually work with is that when you have a list of items, you want to be able to see, okay, what's the how great is this solution, right? What's the relevance? And here we have a 60% really good, and we're going to just leave it at that. Great. So let's run this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to run
Hello, Jaflet, are you there? Jaflet, can you hear us? It seems you're breaking up a bit. If you can hear us.
Yeah, I think his screen.
Okay, so hey Samuel, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we lost you for a
Yes,
moment.
are you able to hear me clearly? Okay,
yes, we
great.
can.
So I'm confirming if there are any questions while I impute. Okay, so maybe we could go ahead and respond to that question while I impute my API keys and then get this set for run to run. Great. So one moment. So what questions do we have, Samuel? Do you want to about them?
I think there was a question about can I use a couple of LLM modules and one? Or I think what the person was trying to ask is, can I use a couple of LLM modules or just one module. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I kind of see it here. And also, I think they had some concerns on, I think your screen wasn't, I think a bit like magnified enough for them to see what you were doing. So if you could magnify that.
Oops, sorry about that. Didn't get to know that on time. Okay, so I have my. Is it much better now?
Yeah, I think this is much better.
Okay, so let's take this down and save this, and then let's run this over again. And we're going to see this taking a moment to build.
So whilst Jafflet is building and doing that, to try to respond to that question, yeah. So that's what I will be showing you, how to set up your Azure OpenAI
So I think
services.
we're having this coming up.
Samuel, perhaps we should switch to your screen for now.
Okay, sure, we can do that. I think it's okay. So while Jafflet is trying to get his set up, I want to quickly walk you guys through the process of creating or setting up your Azure AI to create your model. So there's a question in the chat that seemed to ask how many modules can I use. So if you go to this is my Azure portal, as you can see from here. I have a resource group. This I'm calling it Citizens of AI. So the easiest approach is to simply go to create, and once your create portal or Blade opens, you look for Azure OpenAI. Now I'm just going to walk through the process. I have already created an Azure OpenAI instance that we'll use, but I want to go through the process to explain this to you. So you can either do this here and type in the search for the marketplace. You can do that. You go Azure OpenAI, and this would pop up, and you can see here it is Azure OpenAI. So you go ahead and click on it to create it. It would take you through a few steps So here, if you click on create, it would ask you for a resource group. And like I said, so this is not like an Agile 101 class, but you know that you have to, as best practices, you have your resource groups. So here, your subscription, your resource group. And I must say that if you don't have a subscription, take a look at the free Agile credit that Microsoft offers, or take a look at the Agile student passes as well. So here, select your resource group, select the region, give your OpenAI service a name, and select the the pricing tier. For now is a standard tier, and then you click on next. So you walk through the process, and this will create an OpenAI service for you. Now I have gone ahead to create one. This was for Seasons of AI in Accra. So I have an OpenAI instance here. So I'm going to open it now. Couple of things to to take note. When you're creating an OpenAI service, it would ask you for a storage account. It will create some key vault, and then it will create like a hub for you to store it. Now, when you are inside your OpenAI instance or service you've created, it would ask you to use the Azure AI Foundry. Don't be confused. If you knew Azure AI Studio, that has evolved to what we call Azure AI Foundry. Now, if you go to Azure AI Foundry, this is where you're going to add all the AI models you want to use, the LLMs, everything that is available by Microsoft. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a bit here. So you can see this here, and I believe it's, let me know if it is big enough for you to see. I believe so. So here, you can test your models here, use the tools that are provided for you to test it out, add to it and all that. But the key thing here is, if you look closely here, you will see something about deployment. And this is where you indicate the AI modules, the modules you want to use, the LLMs you want to use, whether you want to use a custom LLM or you want to use a predefined one. Now, what Jaflet was doing was just leveraging and showing how to add that. I'm going to go very high and show you how easy it is to integrate this in a very basic console app that you can build. And the processes are the same. You can leverage the same processes. You need three key things, and I'll show you how to get those three things. And then we'll jump into our console application and we'll build that. So here, I have the deployment. So you can either click here to create a new deployment, and you see, you can create a deployment, right? Either from base modules, right? And these base modules, like I mentioned, are the Llama, the GPT and all that. Or you can find two modules you have, all right? So let's go ahead and you click on create module here, all right? If you click on the create module from base module, you would see that it would ask you to select, the modules you want to do. Let me quickly show you this from here, as I have one here. So I'm going to go here to deployment, and then I'll do a new deployment. I'll create a new deployment. Go ahead, deploy from a base module. And then here, you see it. Here, you can see all the base modules that are there, from GPT-01, 01 Mini, GPT-4 real-time preview, GPT-4o, GPT-4 Mini. So you have access to all these ones. Now, you need to have an Azure OpenAI subscription account, right? And your subscription would have to be vetted to be able to do this. So I can go ahead and say, for this deployment, I want to use GPT-4.0 or GPT-4 Mini. So I can select this. And here you can see confirm. And now it is asking me for specific information on, first of all, where I'm going to, host this. Is it the same resource group? Which storage account am I going to use? And like I said, I'm not going deep into this. I have a different session that walks through this. But primarily, you can see the name of the deployment, right? So here I can say this is .NET. I'll say this is going to be Net AI demo, right? So we can call it Net AI demo. And then, I just want it to be, it can be global standard deployment. This is just availability of how you want your modules to be assessed. And then here, I can go to customize. And in this customized settings, I can update things like the tokens, the filters, and all that. But by default, for this session, you can just leave it to the default. And then I'll go ahead and click deploy, right? I'll just go ahead and click deploy. Now, once this is deploying, it is going to create your endpoint, as you can see here, I have the key. It has a couple of informations there for me, but this is now leveraging GPT-4, right? GPT-4 mini. Now, these are the three pieces of information you need. You need a key. I'm going to copy this somewhere. And then if you come back to your, let's go to Citizens of AI, and then I do my, you see here, if I do my Citizens of AI, OpenAI stuff, I can go to keys and endpoint. So this is the next two things that I need. I need a key, and then I need the endpoint, right? So I've gone ahead to copy this endpoint. As for the key, I'm not going to show it. So the key, the endpoint, and the what? You need the deployment, your deployment name or your model ID. So here, deployment name. And this is where, in this case, it is leveraging on what? GPT-4.0. So now I can now add GPT-4.0 functionality, AI capabilities into my application. Time check. Let's quickly do this. So now that we have all this information, let's quickly jump into Visual Studio. You can also do this in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to try to do this really quickly. So let's go and create a new project. And I'm going to put this in a very simple console application, all right? So that you guys can appreciate this. So I'm going to go to console. I'm going to do a console application next, and then we'll call this as simple as net. Let's call this net AI demo. Let's go to next. And as every application or every introductory would have it, is the hello world. And here we're just going to do a very basic hello world AI hello world example. All right. So here, as you can see, very basic, simple. I'm going to zoom in a bit here so you can see what we are doing. Very simple. If you look at the structure as well, there's nothing crazy in here. I just have my dependencies and then the base, program.cs file. Very basic stuff. And just like Jaflet was showing, to do this, you need to bring in, the packages, the NuGet packages, right? Very basic NuGet. For this session, you only need just two packages. So I'm going to try to do this so that we can keep to time. Open your package manager. There are two ways to do this. Either use your package manager console down here, right? You can use this, or you can technically just right click on the solution and then do your manage NuGet packages, right? You can do just the manage NuGet packages. Very, very straightforward. So in here, you go to browse and you look for the two main packages we're going to use. And like I said, you can either do this in the NuGet manager or you can do it in the package manager console, right? So I'm going to do one in the package manager console, and then I'll do one here. Now, the base one that we need is obviously Microsoft Semantic Kernel. So I'll go to browse and I'll just type in the Microsoft Semantic Kernel here. And then as you can see, select this and then install. And this is going to add the semantic kernel, apply and accept. And there you go. So this is installed. And because I'm going to be using app settings files, to store the credentials and not to expose it, it just makes sense to include the configuration extensions. So I'm going to go here as well. Actually, let's do that in the package manager so you guys can see how that is. So to do that, I'll go ahead and do install. That's just a simple way to do that. Install package. And then I'll put this here. That's Microsoft extension configuration. So we'll do this. So I've shown you two ways to do that. Either you do it in the GitHub, in NuGet, or you do that here. And then we'll also need configuration.json because our app setting file leverages, JSON file. So that's done. We've cleared this. We have our packages installed. So now let's go ahead and clear this. As we're going to start to do, some very simple things. And I'm going here. I'll right click and add a new file. I'll just add a new item. I hope you can see this. And let's go all the way here. I need to reduce it a bit because I'm using multiple screens. It's taking all the space. So I just want to reduce this awesome so that we can see that. So I'm just going to create a very simple file called the app settings.json, and we've added that. It's going to be a JSON file, so we don't need this. Now, if you know, I'm going to create a simple object here. So this would be the object that is going to store. Remember the three things I talked about? You need your deployment name. So just do this. You need your deployment name. You need your endpoint, right? You need your endpoint as well. So let's do this. And then you will need your API key. Okay. So let's do this. API key. And there you go. So these are the three pieces of information you need to be able to get your your model, the deployment you've done working here. And this is all you're going to see on this page. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. And remember, I showed you how to get access to all those. So let's stay within here. So I'm going to go ahead to populate that app settings file so that I don't risk I don't risk exposing sensitive information. So all I'm doing is setting up those those keys or app settings. And that's it. We're done here with that one. Now let's come to the code itself. So now that we've done it, very simple. Okay, and I'll be leveraging, again, ChatGPT and some, GitHub Copilot in it. So first thing we want to do is actually just load. We're going to load the configuration. We're going to load the configuration from app settings, right? So I have prepared some code to easily do this for us. So we are calling, and you can see that it's inferring and obviously pulling in all the extensions. So it's just saying, hey, I have a configuration file called the app settings.json, and I want you to bring it in and put it into the config settings for me. One thing I want to do is that I'm going to right click here, go to the properties just to make sure that I always have this app settings. I'll change the build type to copy always for now. This just to make sure that I just have it all the time. So now that I have loaded, let me put comments so it makes it easy for you. Now that I have loaded it, I'm just going to make sure I get, all the three pieces of information. Remember the deployment name, the app service, and all that. So that is what this line is doing. So now I've created variables that is going to call my deployment name, my endpoint, and a key. I have them here, so now I'm ready to go. So the first thing I want to do, and bear with me because of time, I'm providing some code pieces here for you to look at. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to use semantic kernel, right, to now create a kernel that allows me to inject one of these. You might want to call this one of the services or plugins in there that's using the OpenAI chat completion. And this takes three parameters. This takes the deployment name, the endpoint, and the API key, which we have put in this app settings file that we are seeing from here. So now that we have the kernel, we can go ahead, the kernel builder, we can go ahead and use it to build the kernel. And you can see that I'm getting IntelliSense from GitHub Copilot. So here, now I have my kernel. So at this point, and look at this. This is what I'm saying. It is very simple and easy to use to implement, AI into your application. Look at this, very simple. How many lines of code? So far, probably 19 lines of code. So if you take out the the comment. Now, at this point, I can now go ahead and implement it. So I'm going to do a simple console of this. So just going to say, hey, I'm an AI chat, if you want to ask me any question or type exit. So let's do this. So now, this is the simplest and easiest way to leverage it. Take a look at this. I'm going to do a simple one, and then I'll add a very interactive one to it. So here, the result is that. So let's just test it out, right? Before we add any complexity to it. So look at the use case. Kernel invoke prompt async. All I'm saying is, so this is a question. This is right now what I'm doing is just is a hard-coded question, right? I'll make it interactive. Trust me. Give me some few minutes. So I'm saying that what is the population of the world? This is what I want. The Azure OpenAI chat completion module, leveraging GPT, right? The model we deployed to do that. And once the result comes, all I want is for it to, just display this result in my UI. So look at this, a total of 25 lines of code to add AI capability into a very basic console application. So let's go ahead and build this. So I'll build it. Fingers crossed, this should build really quickly. There's nothing too crazy here. So build succeeded. Let's go ahead and run this. So let me bring the console here so that everybody can see. There we go. The AI is initiated, it's running. And guys, take a look at this. Look at that. You see that? It says, as an AI, I just want to be sure that this is visible enough for everybody to see. So look at this. Look at the response it gave. As an AI language model, I do not have the current and exact population of the world. However, I can tell you that according to the United States latest estimate, as of 2021, the world population is approximately 7.9 billion, right? Now, that is just, guys, look, it is just how many? 25 lines of code. Basic, right? Now, somebody will say, well, Sam, that is the whole point. That is how easy semantic kernel makes it easy for you to add, AI capability into your application. Now, just to make it nice before we wrap up here, I'm just going to replace, I have a little, so I'm going to replace this here. And then I'm going to do chat. Where's my chat loop snippet here? There we go. There we go. Okay, so let me go ahead and add this. So all I have done is this time around, I don't want to, let me fix this. Really, okay. So this time, all I have done is I don't want it to be a hard-coded, questing. So I have just created a very basic, let's make this nullable. So I've just created a basic loop, right? It's going to be a console thing that is just going to keep looping until I hit exit. So let's save this. Let's rebuild this and then run application one more time. And then let's see how we have in some few minutes and in a matter of just about 29 or 25. So take a look at this. Do you see this? Where is Ghana located? And now I am directly talking to, an AI agent embedded in this very basic console application for me. And it's the same thing, whether it's an eShop, whether it is Aspire, it's a Blazor, it's a React, it's, so far as this is the power of what, semantic kernel does for you. And I can say, which countries fall within West Africa, right? And look at that. It's a, and just, for the last time before we wrap up, let's see who is Samuel Adrang. I don't know. I don't know if the AI knows anything about me. It says, well, I don't have information about, so thank God that AI is not exposing any information about me. But guys, this is as simple as it is. And as you can see, I have just created a very basic and simple, application running on AI with just a total of about, 57 lines, just because of the formatting and stuff like that. Jaflet, take it from here. Just what do you have to tell people?
Great. So quickly, before we let go, just to show the final results of the eShop Lite solution. So Maria, please, if you can help bring this back up. And here we can see all of the edits that have been made to the code. We're going to share more details into that. And over here, when we run it, we'll go back to our shop light solution. When we search, we can decide to search for campaign. And because artificial intelligence has been embedded into it, you can see initially we had 4 results, but this time we're having just 1 result, which is more aligned. So let's go back and do something for the rainy days, and let's see what it's got for us. Because we have utilized artificial intelligence, you see it's recommending the outdoor rain jacket for us, and that's actually because it has picked that this includes rain and more like making it happen for us. Great. So just wanted to show that, to see how embedding artificial intelligence into this eShop, this e-commerce solution actually makes it more interactive and interesting. So a quick recap of what we have done is we've been able to implement the AI search functionality. We utilize two models, the GPT-4o, which, as Samuel explained, is used for chat completion. You saw how imputed chat completions are utilized GPT-4o. We've also seen how Ada 002 was utilized for the embeddings, and also how to impute the semantic kernel packages to help us run this properly, how we're able to impute our C# code, and then adjust the front end to ensure that it is utilizing the new AI tool or that we have embedded into it. Now, we're supposed to do more, but because of time, we won't be able to go further into this. But for this session, which um, someone had spoken about, showing you how to deploy AI using Azure AI Foundry and then infusing artificial intelligence into a console application. For the last part, we will just quickly show you what it looks like. We'll have a pre-recorded video, and more like in case you need to do more. Prompty is a tool that enables you to utilize prompts within your .NET solution. So let's say, for example, someone needs to input a much more longer prompt. For example, suggest something that I will need to cook for my hiking adventure. What is going to happen is you notice that it's not able to do that for us, but when we do the same for rainy days, because it's really aligned, because it fits a specific criteria, it's able to give that to us. Moving a little bit forward, we're going to impute all of the AI functionalities, including Prompty, which is the extension within um, our code editor that would enable us bring in those prompts and use them in um, whatever solution we are deploying. Once we have made this, brought this to life, once we have imputed the right code, edited our code and run, this is the difference. So when we click on something for rainy day, we're going to see that it now has something a little bit more exciting. And if you notice up there, looking to conquer those rainy days, it's giving more like a description into what that specific solution or what that specific item it is recommending for us is all about. So these are like key things that you can include into your solution just to make it more exciting. We've spoken about a few of them. I was sure using them, learning more about them would help a whole lot. Great. So let's move a little bit forward and share resources with you. So first, if you need to build AI agents utilizing all that we have spoken about, Azure OpenAI and semantic kernel, you can utilize this link on the screen. One other solution which we have built, which is like super exciting and I love, is the traffic camera analyzer. And you should definitely check that out. The link in the screen is the link to the repository, and also down there you have the link to the live session that walks you through how you can develop your own traffic camera analyzer utilizing artificial intelligence and AI. I'm going to leave this slide for a few more minutes. Samuel, do we have any final words? I know we're really out of time. Hi, Samuel. Am I audible? Can you hear me? And are you still there?
Yes, we can hear you, Jocelyn.
Okay, so I think Samuel is no longer in the stream. Can you help confirm that, Maria?
Yes, Samuel just dropped. I am not sure why we lost the connection with him, so he dropped.
Okay, great. So we're going to share all of these links with you all so you can go on and learn further how you can actually infuse artificial intelligence into your solution. From both my end and from Samuel's end, thank you very much to everyone who has joined this stream. And we're looking forward to seeing how you all get to do amazing stuff with artificial intelligence, utilizing all that we have shown you all today. Passing it over to Moria, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jaflet and Jackson. That's Samuel. That's not here. Thank you both for today's session. You can find the links in the chat as well. So for those of you who missed it, and I remind you that this session is recorded. And you will find the recording on our YouTube channels, when you can also reach out for the other resources that we shared. Next week, we will host the last session in this .NET series. So check out the link to register for the last session. Thanks again, Samuel and Jafflet, for today. And thank you, everyone who joined us. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye, Moria. Bye, everyone.